Well, I was out at Swisher Farms yesterday and Jen gave me this pair of glasses. It's $5. So thanks for that. And I'm putting them on just 2 minutes ago, right? And my whole world is just, of course it's sunshine, but this is almost like having the eyes dilated after like an eye exam in Belize or something like this. It's bright everywhere. Everything is brighter, and of course it was suggested for night driving. It's a night vision, not night vision, but night driving. So it reminds me of this photo on Georgian fashion model Vogue magazine cover. She made the cover in December, Netherlands, 2022. So she's got her Instagram page, and one of the photos out of a set. She's wearing yellow glasses. Now, when I saw her, she's got this photo. When I saw her in this photo, she has, because I've met her in real life, just twice, just briefly, but she had a fork in her mouth, these glasses, and I thought, you know, this reminds me of an iconic photo of Brad Pitt, the American movie star. He had just left University of Missouri when I got there. I think he left maybe the year before. I got there for a summer semester and part of a fall semester. I left there and went up to Kansas City and studied at Johnson County Community College. Studied entrepreneurship for a year. So my son I'd have him every other weekend down there. And so to be closer to where he was at, and my decision to go ahead and study entrepreneurship instead of actually a degree in business administration, that's why I went on up to Kansas City. It's 2 reasons. But Brad Pitt had left MU, and I think the story goes he didn't even, this is the freelittleLibrary.org, take a book, return a book, charter number 35975. And so Brad Pitt, I don't think he even graduated. It was just before he was going to graduate, he just left. Did he have a degree in journalism, or would he had a degree in journalism? But he left. I don't know if it was that or then he became an actor, right? So yeah, interesting way of going about things. A little bit of a wind or heavy breeze. I'll head down to Arrow Rock right after this. Probably go to Catalpa restaurant and buy some lavender soap. That is my mission for today. I bought the Tactical Tomahawk video instruction series and a Tactical Tomahawk 17 ounces from Jason Hanson, Spy Briefing or Black Bag Confidential. So I'll have the complete training by video. I do Qigong exercises every single morning. And this is the 29th of April, today, Saturday, 2023. I've done Qigong exercises since the end of August 2022. So 9 months every single morning, 40 minutes. Then I'll do this walk, 30 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes. I think it's 30. It's a mile. And then I will, in the evening, do a 30-minute concentration focus exercise between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. %99 of the time. That's a foundation to my daily routine. Now I'm taking a number of supplements, which was a goal I had for years, but I'm finally now 70% to where I want to be with supplementation. Unfortunately, with our so-called modern agriculture, we don't get, also with the overpopulation in the world, which needs a worldwide legislated birth stop until we reach a sustainable number of population. It's the only ethical, truly effective way of doing it. We have overfarmed and undernourished ourselves on our earth. So we don't get the nutrition that we would have 200 years ago from our food. We just don't. And there are massive problems with not getting enough of the correct nutrition, and the burdens of the problems from overpopulation, including the use of chemical fertilizers and other chemicals and all these other things, including electrical or electronic stress, nuclear testing, all this stuff. We have Midofulon. Midofulon is something that Michael Horn, theyflyblog or theyfly.com, he has on his website, the store, because who doesn't have, the risk of also greater radioactive contaminants in a world where they've done secret underground or otherwise nuclear tests. Yeah, and so on. So we have unparalleled historical threats to health now and lack of nourishment because of the main problems I've just described. And that's what I've learned from Figu, that's what I've learned from Erhadi Thasata and Dr. Joe Wallach, part of that way back when, as far as the mineral, the use of minerals. So this is a problem that parts of which I've known about from other sources, some of which, we've never really read so much about the amount of, nuclear testing. Of course, with the climate is also affected by that. Well, it's a beautiful day here. This is, as I mentioned, Eastwood Street in Marshall, Missouri, if I didn't already, actually. I usually do. The end of April. And I'm going to Ararock today. Probably just as soon as I get back to the truck. I brought a camera. Let's see if I use it. And how far is Ararock from here? Slater, approximately 9 miles. I don't know if that's straight or if that's by highway. calculated it one time after a tornado hit or touched down between here and there, and I remember the map showing a straight line versus driving distance. That's two different calculations. Should be reaching, if I haven't already, 19 million views on my more than 11,500 photos on Google Maps as a location level 9 guide, location guide level 9 Google Maps, and my YouTube channel should be approaching, or if it's not already, I don't think it's that already, it stays steady with subscribers and views, although I'm surprised that's not changing. Everything else is with social media, but should be reaching 1 million views sometime this year probably. So yeah, Mathilda in this photo had the glasses like this on her personal Instagram, her verified Instagram account. That's actually the Mathilda Gavrilioti, and this is I wonder how often she wears these glasses. Anyway, it reminded me of a photo of like this of Brad Pitt talking about these glasses, and I looked at Mathilda, the gold shirt, and she's eating something like strawberries, blueberries, and maybe raspberries. I eat a cup of those twice a day. Not so often the strawberries. It's coming though. It's time for our strawberries next month. And actually June. So, looks like on a pancake. She's got the fork in her mouth, and I'm thinking, this just reminds me of that iconic photo by Brad Pitt, or of Brad Pitt, not by Brad Pitt. He's not a photographer that I know of. Anyway, he's wearing these. So, well, here we go. Everything is brighter with my yellow night driving sunglasses on. Very thankful to Dubell Judge, Legal Shield law firm provider that I have as part of my legal membership, legal insurance. Thank you very much for a great consult this weekend over the years. They always have very practical advice as well, and they never assume that even if you've got all the correct evidence and you're absolutely in the right, that you're going to win, and vice versa. That you don't have any evidence, everybody knows you're wrong, but that you're going to lose, this kind of thing. It is to say that, unfortunately, and this is the hardest thing when I had Yulia had come over here from Ukraine and traveling around the world. It's like, look, that's what they tell you the law is, that's what they say they go with. But here's how reality is. Here's how it really works or doesn't work. Yeah. And that was the hard thing. You know, like the huge difference between how things are supposed to work and how it really works. Let me give you an example. There's the crisis with medicine here, medical. And I had to talk to four specialists, medical doctor, report neuropathy, which, you know, I'm managing to a certain extent with supplements based on endocrinologists, Michigan foot doctors, nerve doctors, Texas, and another one out of Florida's repost of public medical, scientific, clinical trials and things like this. But no one documented it that I could see in the patient summaries in the patient portal if it's given or St. Luke's until I made this public. And I went to the rheumatologist on the second visit and checked it. He documented it in the summary as far as what I told him about that. So they set up the referral that I requested, and it's to KU. Now, had I not told her that I'm a photographer, a journalist, and traveled doing that sort of thing, actually that's really by more than 6-7 years, but in total over 17 years if you want to throw in all the films I've put up on YouTube. But that I could travel again at any time. And I really need to know, it's been more than 2 weeks. And she says, well, we usually have a process to set this, da-da-da. But after I told her that, she said, well, we can get you in. So they kind of moved me forward, right? They've got like 50 neurologists, some of them of which do for this type of testing. And earliest they can get me in, July 28. That's 3 months from now. That's 3 months from now. And when I first came in here about a year ago, year and a month, there would be some mistakes, like there would be sugar in this coleslaw, and then it got so bad during the night, I felt I was going to have to go to the ER for neuropathy. And so, you know, that's bad, right? Like, and what are they going to do? So I learned from Sugar MD down in Florida, Turkish American specialist, nerve doctors, Texas, the Michigan foot doctor. Also, there's a Michigan PT, Texas nerve doctors, Texas PT as well. I'm going to PT out here if it's given. He's really good. Mr. Moppin, Zach, and so what I'm saying is it's a crisis, and there's an incredible amount of neurological problems right now in the population, and I think that demonstrates that even further because I can't get an appointment for 3 months. Now, I don't believe I have the same problem that 99.9% of them do at all, not even close. You know, this is something that my grandfather had dealt with, and thankfully, due to information that we have access to today, I've got a better handle on this and earlier than, you know, well, on average by 8 years earlier. And had family had let me know that history, I probably would have figured it out maybe way back at age 30. However, even some of the research that comes about, some of that was developing even then. So it's an ongoing thing. So, yeah, there's a crisis here. You can't even get in 3 months. And that's if you're somebody with a reason, a legitimate reason to say, hey, I may be leaving. This is what I do. This is what I've done for 17 years. And I need to know when we're going to test. And then only because of that, I got in a little bit earlier. 3 months. That's a crisis. That's KU Neurological Testing Center, Rainbow Boulevard or Shawnee Mission over there. And the Kansas side of Kansas City. So in other words, it's about an hour and 40-minute drive from here. Maybe an hour and, about an hour and 40-minute drive from here. I know, I used to go from Blue Springs to Rainbow Boulevard to Shawnee Mission or Mission, Kansas, every single weekend as a teenager. To Kansas City Youth for Christ rallies, and I would also go to the Country Club Plaza, and that's where I spent my teen years every weekend. Yeah, there's another issue on insurance though, so I called over to the outpatient services. If it's given again, and we'll probably end up doing something with UMKC on that. We'll find out. Although I had already checked it with my insurance company, so it's not my fault when I'm told everything will be covered and given a list, and then when I actually call, in this case, KU Medical, and find out, well, only part of it. Oh, okay, well, so here we go. So I have to call back on Monday and check with them. Otherwise, it is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful today, and I think that I'll say this too, I think the lockdowns in Tbilisi were the biggest hit to my health personally ever, and I think I'm going to recover from most of that, but I'm absolutely sure that the lockdown they did over there with curfews of, what was it, 8 or 9 night, 10, whatever it was, you couldn't go anywhere, do anything basically. It was just, you could go to the park, you could go to the pharmacy, grocery store. For a while, that was about it. Very few places to eat were open. It was real intense lockdown. Had to wear masks, even outside at one point. So I was telling the PT guy, I said, look, before that hit, I could in slow motion throw a kick all the way up and hold it straight up, or and I did that at the bus stop. I'd wait on the bus or something. Like, I'm bored, I'll do this, just whoosh, so anyway, I'm sure that after studying all this stuff, but yeah, it wrecked Georgia, and it still had probably an irreparable effect on the United States and the rest of the world. There's a guy that said that that this financial crisis is global. Okay, I'm going to stop it because it's going to stop if I don't stop, and if I'd have to restart. So here's a beautiful tree, white, absolutely gorgeous. This is kind of a orange burnt maple tree look, and there's the bright pink white over here, and right here is old architecture, kind of colonial style America. I love this color scheme here with the white tree in front flowering, that with the yellow, which is the #1 color of houses sold in the US is yellow, by the way. Green shutters and pink. I just took some shutters off yesterday at the house at Frank's place. Frank's passed away, but we call it Frank's place. It used to be a Jack too. It's up there at Swisher Farms. And I took those over to Jack and Jen's. They're going to paint those shutters. That's cool. And I like that they have the wheelchair access. We've had several members of the family or friends over the years that have ended up in a wheelchair temporarily or permanently. So that's always nice to see. Jack has used to install grab bars, wheelchair access, bathtubs, entire bathrooms. He has to do that for families and also in the nursing care business. So I also signed up for a remote viewing course finally, and it's the Hoodoo, Hoodoo instructor Stacy. He's also an initiated Palo Mayombe priest, and so I've taken maybe all of the courses on Hoodoo. Quite frankly, got to a pretty good level of mastery on that. And now I'm gonna go ahead and I've already signed up and purchased the remote viewing course today. He's got some courses on emergency preparedness and a very interesting background. He's trained with Ed Dames in remote viewing. Ed Dames, a remote viewing instructor for, I don't know if it's the CIA, but it was U.S. military. I trained only for a weekend at Bevy Jaggers in St. Louis, and I definitely have that ability as far as psychometry, for sure. It's amazing. I did contribute to that. There were some live test cases, let's say. So I have that ability to some extent. Now I need to develop it and learn the official way, and I'm excited to learn Stacy's way, or what Stacy has to teach on remote viewing. He's got a number of courses on remote viewing. It's a critical topic in terms of the massive changes in the world that are taking place and that will continue to take place, also especially in terms of preparedness, maybe even survival. And he has several videos exactly on those topics too. That's Udemy, U-D-E-M-Y. Have a nice day. I'm going to Ararock.